Hey Pete, Happy New Year from San Francisco. I want to introduce you to Barbara.
Happy New Year, Pete.
Listen, buddy, thank you so much. That is just such a kind and thoughtful and deep recommendation of the book. And you know, you're part of that book. You were part of the calling that somehow miraculously brought those four spirits into our last 2 years of this past decade. I mean, who would have thought that four spirits from the spirit world would befriend us like they have? And I know they love you very much, and that's why they wanted you and Barbara to see the chapters as they unfolded. And we really want to wish you happy New Year over there in England. We were just talking about, we were visualizing you and Barbara and I going and Sarah and meditating in the crop circles sometime in the near future. So, and I want to thank Barbara because Barbara has just upgraded my brand new website, thomasallenberg.com. She didn't upgrade it, she created it, the entire thing. In fact, she's brilliant. Barbara's been on a spiritual path with me for the last 20 years. We met in a Course in Miracles discussion group way back when, right?
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. Barbara, what brought you to an awareness that the spirit world was real and it was something that you wanted to get in touch with? Did you have like a moment or a series of moments that brought you to that point?
I've had many unusual experiences that brought me to it. Probably the biggest moment was when I was really questioning, if this was all there was to life. I was sort of sitting on the edge of my bed one night crying and going, if this is all there is, this is just not working for me. And I was crying, and all of a sudden I felt this invisible hand stroking the top of my head, and which felt very loving. And then my life sort of transformed after that, and I started meeting these amazing people, and I met you, and I got into the Course in Miracles, and then I got into Abraham Hicks, and so that was sort of a defining moment for me, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've been on this path together here in San Francisco for many years, and it keeps evolving. And anyway, Pete, thank you so much for this wonderful YouTube that you did tonight. And we were both like practically on the edge of tears because it was so beautifully heartfelt and soulful. And we know that all three of us and Sarah, we've all known each other in the spirit world. And when we look around at the human physical world as we go into this new decade, I am even more convinced than ever that the only answer is what Steinmetz said, which is the only revolution that's ever going to work on this planet is the spiritual revolution, because they can't solve these problems on the level of the problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is very exciting times.
It really is. It really is. So anyway, while we have you on the line, and we were both like impressed that you had 85 hits already today, and you just did it today. So obviously, this is going to be a big help to our intention for the coming year, which is to do everything we can to serve the spirit world and to help the spirit world reach into the human world and help us solve these apparently or seemingly unsoluble problems, but they're not. They're only unsoluble on the human level. But on the spiritual level, there are all kinds of answers. And I guess that's really about all we're going to say tonight. But we're going to put this video, if you don't mind, on the website, right?
If you want me to, sure.
Yeah, I really would. I really would.
Consider it done.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to take this chance that you've given us to talk about three other creations that have happened because of the spirit world and because of the downloading and infusion of information that came from the spirit world. The very first thing that came through has never been published nationally or internationally, but it was published by Jerry and Esther Hicks. You want to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. this was the very first little book that we did together. They published this in the late, actually, early 2000s, late 19, anyway, I'm not really sure, in the last 15 years. What I did was I taught my students their principles, their metaphysical principles, and we had a fabulous month together where they allowed my students to ask Solomon, who is the representation of Abraham, questions. And that was really my first experience with doing a book or doing a project with the spirit world directly. And they gave each one of my students a copy. These are questions that my students gave Esther, and Esther asked Abraham, and then they answered in the form of Solomon. And so being a fictional character, that's how we were able to get it into the public school system. So, and Barbara's been a part of this from the very beginning also. So, did you want to say anything about that?
How that started?
You know what happened? I didn't want to teach. I got to a point in the early 90s where I didn't want to teach in the public school system anymore because I felt like an Uncle Tom. That's what my next book is about. I felt like I was being used by the military-industrial complex that runs America. And so I went to Barbara, and Barbara really encouraged me to go ahead and just get ballsy about it and just go ahead and start trying to figure out ways to get spiritual information into the system, into the public school system, right?
Yeah, I remember actually we went in and we put a lot of the stuff in the Course of Miracles, but we used the word universe instead, which is more, people were more able to receive. And then we just came up with a lot of different ideas, and then you were off and running, and I stepped back.
Yeah, well, Barbara really empowered me because she said, well, if you're going to go back and teach in the system, which is a really dark place, as many of you know who've been educated in the traditional way, it's so materialistic, and it teaches kids that the way to solve every problem is to get a good job, get money, and that's it, you know. And so what we did was we began to share ideas with them, like the Abraham Hicks ideas, but we never used the word God.
Right.
That was the way we got it in. We used the word universe, or we used the word the force, because the force is with you is very popular with the Star Wars people. Anyway, that led to my first major work, which is Uncle Tom's Classroom, How One Public School Teacher Awakened His Students to the Cosmic Super Self Within, which then led me to my radio show and interview with Shirley MacLaine, which is on my website. Barbara put the entire interview on my website, thomasallenberg.com. You can hear Shirley and I discuss exactly this question, is how in the world can we help our civilization survive these incredible challenges that are coming even as we approach 2012. And of course, the answer is by uniting our worlds. And as a result of that collaboration with Shirley MacLaine, that's where Bob Hickman appeared magically via Skype one day and said that his spirits, Fletcher, Rose, Orion, and Edgar Casey, were very interested in the work that I was doing, and that led to our collaboration, which then led to Pete being part of the initial downloading process, because every time a lesson was downloaded, I sent it to Pete and Barbara. So anyway, I'm running out of time. So happy New Year, and may all of us feel our spiritual selves and feel the spiritual energy pouring onto this planet, which is amping up ever stronger as we head towards 2012, right?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year, and thanks again, Pete. And hello to all of Pete's many, many friends, YouTube friends. Hello from America, from San Francisco, the freest city in the United States of America, we believe. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you in person, Pete. Hi, Sarah. Happy New Year, and thank you again for this wonderful, wonderful New Year blessing.
Happy New Year, Pete.
Happy New Year.